You're darn right we're being recorded, and we are back, ladies and gentlemen, loud and clear with the blue snowball microphone. And week 7, episode 8 of the 2024 Sports Dolls podcast. And I hate to say it, not my best week. Not my best week, but I'm back for another week of fun.
Yeah, it makes room for the big comeback, Josh. You know that you've set the stage.
That's what they say, can't have a comeback without a setback. So got to have that setback, and we are about to boom. Now we go.
And before we roll, I have to introduce our guest picker.
I suppose you should.
Yeah, and this is a true honor. You will not find and meet a nicer guy. And his family is incredible. And the part that I've always been impressed with, and I've never shared this with you, Ben, Josh has heard this story. When I walk around classrooms, when I was still walking around the hallway, I always looked in and seeing the classes where the kids are like, feed me, and your kids are always engaged, always, you have a good rapport with them. Again, welcome, Ben, the pride of Southview. Ben.
Baby, welcome, Ben. Welcome, Ben.
Thank you. Happy to be here, Dean, you're an inspiration at Southview, and you continue to be an inspiration afterwards, so I'm happy to join in here and join the podcast.
Yeah, I was going to say, don't get all too mushy on us now. I was going to say, he is hot on your trail, as he had an just exceptional week. But before we get into that, without a doubt, I'm on point. I'm on time today. Let's see that intro, Dad.
Okay, here it comes. Oh, that was awesome.
Jeez, wow. Oh, my goodness.
Wow.
A real cinematic experience, Ben.
Yep.
Not oversold in any way.
I know. We tell people about it every single week. Say, hey, get ready for that intro, and they are not ready for it. Never are.
Can't be.
Oh goodness! But enough about that magical intro, Dad.
Yeah.
What a week of college football, week 6. Holy smokes. Ben, your first take on last week. I don't know, pick a game, any game, pick an upset. What was your favorite, least favorite? Let's hear it.
Well, favorite gotta be USC coming into the Huntington Bank.
Yep.
Leaving a loser. Love to see it. Welcome to the Big Ten, right?
Yeah.
Coming to the Midwest, think it's gonna be easy. No, sir. Get out of here.
Big L. That's huge. I agree. That's awesome because everyone's like, oh, gosh. And I was one of them. I was like, oh, geez. Like, USC's, let's see what happens. And they showed some grit, which is awesome.
For sure. Yeah. You worry they got the high-flying passing attack coming in. That's been something to struggle with in the past. But did a great job against it. Ran the ball. Moved the ball. Right? Yep. Offensively looked better than we have in a while. So.
Defensive line attacking the quarterback. They just absolutely wouldn't let him get anything going, which is great. Dad, you being there, tell me your firsthand experience.
Oh, it was, and I'm curious how you felt about it, Ben. It had that same feel of the game 2 weeks before the previous home game, where first half did some really good things. The third quarter did not. What we have, like 5 plays in the third quarter, and it's like is this Iowa all over again? But then the fourth, it was awesome. My section, I was with the Potts family. Ethan almost blew it, and you two are gonna just roll your eyes. With 2 minutes left, Ethan's like, "Okay, Grandpa, we got to start planning storming the field." It's like, shh,
stop. Can't say it.
We We stormed the field when we stormed the field. Shut up.
Yeah, there's not much to plan. You know, you walk down there, you get on the field.
You get on the field. Ben, were you there too?
I was there. Yep.
Okay,
Didn't storm
good.
the
All right,
field. You know, Ethan was very excited about that, but
didn't mean to sell you short. I was like, okay, you got to be a part of the magic too.
no, it was great. You know, it was sitting there when they were they took the timeout before that fourth down call on the goal line and having a great argument with all the people around us. But do you go for it? Do you kick it? What do you do? You know, I was all for going for it. A couple of guys next to me like, no, you kick the field goal, whatever. And then as soon as we scored, they're like, you know what? Well, yes, right decision. I was with you the whole time, PJ. So,
I was one that kicked the field goal, take the points, go from there. And you know, that's just me. But hey, great call, great execution. It was electric.
a little nerve wracking as they're you know, reviewing a QB sneak. That's not a high percentage overturn, but they got it right. They got it right.
Yeah,
I was watching from TV and it looked very obvious. I'm sure you guys saw the replays. I'm like, it's over. Like he literally
they didn't show us that much at the stadium.
No, they showed there was two replays. They had one from they didn't have one right down the line. They had one from in the end zone and one from just outside the end zone. And the one from outside the end zone, you're like, he's in for sure.
Yeah.
And then they'd flip over to the one that was in the end zone. You're like, oh my God, he didn't make it.
He didn't do it.
I don't know if they just don't have access to all of them or what, but we were on the edge of our seats waiting for them to make that call.
Yeah. And when they announced it being a touchdown, like that had to have been probably the loudest maybe that Huntington Bank Stadium has been, I would imagine.
Oh, it was great. We were losing it up in the stands.
Yeah, absolutely. And Ben, did you storm the field?
You know, I didn't. I had a couple chances in college to storm the field when we beat Iowa in those back-to-back years. So
yep.
I've had my storming experiences. You know, I did not this time. I was telling Dean the next day when we were texting about this. I'm like, it would take a pretty momentous, like, you know, Wisconsin's #1 coming in and we beat them or something for me to do that. But it's fun to see. Fun to see the students run out there and
be a part of it because you've had your experiences. You know how fun it is out there. It's just
for sure
chaos.
It's incredible. It was incredible.
Yeah.
So just piecing this together, you two, if it was Iowa, you did, Ben. You two were on the field for the storm the field the same game.
Absolutely. It would have been 2011 when Iowa came to town. I was visiting some friends, and I was a freshman in college and stormed the field with the Gopher fans. It was awesome.
Yeah, that would have been 2011. I think would have been the second one. Because 2010 was the one that was after Thanksgiving, and it was the first outdoor cold weather football game that I'd ever really been to.
Yep.
Was not prepared as a freshman in college, wearing tennis shoes, like sweatpants, like a single sweatshirt. And I tell you what, you know, I couldn't feel my feet for most of the game. Then you jump off that little 14-foot wall or whatever to get down on the field. You can feel them after that.
Absolutely. I was gonna say I'm also with you. I was gonna say went to both of those games. One up with my dad, one with my friend in the student section. That first one was cold. It was freezing, and I felt I was prepared. Still kind of cold. Dad was prepared. My brother-in-law Charlie, he was there. He just doesn't like cold.
No.
Not cold, and he was borderline miserable. The only thing that kept him there was the fact that the Gophers were winning and about to upset. So. Yeah, I'm with you. I've had a couple of storming the field moments. Dean, all the way at 60 years old, 61.
61.
Has now stormed the field twice in his late 50s and now early 60s.
There you go.
It was cool. And then Josh has heard this, but my twin grandsons, the sophomore football players, they were like, oh, this is our last game with Grandpa this year. It's the last game that works out because basketball season kicks in and other obligations. And I'm very animated, as you know, from the Northwestern game. I get into it. And all the gestures, whether it was incomplete, move the chains, first down, throw on the flag, they were going to mimic and jump in with me.
Yeah, I'm
And
going.
first thing you know, our whole section was standing up and bring
the
it
chair.
over.
First down. Yep, that's how.
So it's pretty special.
Yeah, it was awesome. It was.
Gosh,
It was
what about you? What was your game that caught your eye last weekend?
So I was watching the Gophers, which is great, and I'll share my Gopher story because I was with my in-laws. It was great, bringing the grandkid down there, and my father-in-law. He's not a big college football guy, but I was like, hey, let's turn on the Gophers, and if it's a good game, he gets into it. So he was pumped up and everything like that. He just kept asking, what do you think Dino's doing right now? What do you think Dino's doing? And I told him, I'm like, oh, he's an animated guy. Like, he's always just moving around. And I told him about the Caddyshack song when everyone's doing the Gopher.
Oh, yeah.
And so after the game for the rest of the night, my father-in-law he just had it queued up on like Spotify. He would just, if there was a lull in conversation, he would just play it and go, I'm all right. And he goes, Dino, doing the Gopher. So he jumped on the bandwagon. It was awesome. The one I honestly liked, I didn't watch it, but I liked the outcome, was Washington getting a little bit of sweet revenge on Michigan. I did not think it was going to be a good game. I thought Michigan would have blown them out. I was amazed that they pulled off a huge upset like that. And something about just, sorry about the Big Ten. I want you to win and everything, but just that sweet revenge of beating them at home, a big game like that. I bet that was pretty cool. I like to see that.
Well, the Big Ten did win in that game.
Yeah.
It's a Big Ten matchup right there.
And I'm a little slow.
It's going to take a little bit to get used to that for sure.
Oh, gosh. Very, very odd. But, geez, talk about it was just a crazy week of upsets. And, Dad, I know you've been waiting. Let's take a look at last week's. And, wow, would you look? Dad, you did so good.
Well, the first thing, and Ben, there is the asterisk is and I didn't mention this to you. You get after we pick, we go back, and one of them is your confidence pick. So you don't lose 2, but you could gain 2 points.
Okay.
None of us got the confidence pick.
It was tough.
Which was tough. But if you notice, those last 4 games in Deanalytics came together and worked out really well.
Yeah.
It's a good run.
That's a solid run, strong finish. Gosh, I was close with that Nebraska. They won by 7, not 7.5. It's tough, but I'm looking to bounce back. I need to bounce back because I am getting further and further away from contention at this point in time, and that's just tough. So I gotta start chipping away. I can accept losing to the leader or the guest picks, but something about losing to my dad doesn't sit well with me, Ben. Okay, so I'm gonna have to start climbing out of this hole.
I mean, nor should it sit well with you. That's a rough matchup to go up into.
Correct. And I talk to him multiple times a week, and so I get to hear it multiple times a week and live on this podcast too. So he's not boastful on the podcast, but you should hear him over the phone.
Well, we do have a new leader in the overall.
Is that what that math does? Okay.
And the guests have been hot up until Charlie just he couldn't quite toe the line. So and Darla, I'm just warning you, Ben. Darla, who has got the only undefeated, she is watching. She will get the spreadsheet. She is very vested in the guest picks.
Darn right. Yeah,
I'll do my best not to let them down.
Yeah, don't let Darla down. I was gonna say Charlie's put you in a tough spot. He lost the lead for you. Despite him being a good guy, he did not do good at picks. So we're gonna need you to bounce back, really revitalize the guests on this one, I think.
I'll do what I can.
Well, Ben, before
absolutely.
Josh, before we start, we got to ask Ben the question. You're here
Absolutely.
because you are an expert guest picker. What makes you an expert?
I've lived through a lot of football, right?
Mhm.
I've gone to every Gopher game for the past about 14 or 15 years.
Nice.
Saturday and Sunday, football days,
That's
right?
right.
There's nothing else going on. You're
Other
watching football at the tailgate. You're watching games in person. When the Gophers go on the road, you're catching up on the games that you missed while you're tailgating, all that kind of stuff. Sundays, same way, right? Got
Mhm.
red zone on one TV, got the Vikes on the other. You're doing the research there. So, as for my strategy, what really makes me good picker, I trust the gut, right? I'll have some reasoning here and there. Don't overthink it, right?
That's it.
Go with what you feel. Don't go
Okay.
back.
Go with what feels right. I couldn't agree more. Now, I went with my gut last time, and I went 3 for 8. So, but your gut probably better than my gut. But here we go. We only got 7 games, and I'm gonna go 7 for 7. I'm gonna say that right now. We start off with Northwestern traveling East Coast to Maryland. Maryland favored by 10.5. Ben.
I really struggle with in the Big Ten sometimes to look at these big spreads and want to take. I always want to take the points, but Northwestern has been rough this year.
Yeah.
When they lose, they tend to lose big. They're close with Duke, but I'm gonna go Maryland. I'm gonna go minus 10.5 for them. I think they're gonna blow them out.
Yeah. I'm thinking the same thing here. Maryland's coming off a bye week here. Northwestern is just not good. They had some magic second half of the season last year, and that's all exciting, but that's last year. This year is a horrible, different story for them. I think Maryland's an easy pick. I will take Maryland over Northwestern. Give me the points. Absolutely.
Well, it makes me nervous to agree with you, Josh. It doesn't make me nervous to agree with Ben.
Let's make it.
The Northwestern scoring 120th out of 131, 133, excuse me. They just can't get to the end zone. Dalytics and Northwestern brings back a great memory. We got to road trip to Northwestern with Ben. Griggs and I flew out and met him and his crew, and man, that was an awesome time taking care of us. And I would be up for that again in a heartbeat.
Yeah, for sure. I got a friend that lives down there. He's always got us ready for when we come down. He knows all the places. It was a great time,
especially with that new stadium. I've dragged my feet long enough. Maryland is not only going to win; they're going to win by 17.
Ashley, are you coming down to make a guest appearance? Well, Ashley, you gotta come say hi. I'm gonna dedicate this next pick here. Sorry, Ben. This is a season 5 first. My wife here came downstairs to grab a Coke Zero. Just poor timing. What's up,
Hey, Ashley?
Hi, bye.
You're not gonna make my pick for me?
No, you got it.
Okay, well, fine. Thanks for making an appearance, Ashley.
Yeah.
All right, Ashley Dahl, ladies and gentlemen, 1 of 3. All right, moving on. We got Wisconsin traveling also to the East Coast, playing against Rutgers. Rutgers are still favored by 1.5. I want to hear what you got, Ben, on this one. I'm intrigued.
Well, I will tell you, this is where the gut comes into play a little bit. Rutgers started strong. Do I have a ton of faith in Kaliak Manis to, blow people out? Not really.
No.
But Wisconsin's on their backup quarterback. They looked good against Purdue last week, but everyone looks good against Purdue.
Yeah,
that's true.
So, this is where the gut comes in. I can't be picking Wisconsin. I think Rutgers gets it done at home. Takes the victory.
See, this is the research that I get here. I was talking to my buddy Chris Dill on the phone old college roommate, diehard Wisconsin fan. So, I get the biased Wisconsin stuff from him. And I'm going to quote him on this one, chatting on the phone, because he's just a straight shooter. It's hilarious. And he goes, I think Van Dyke getting hurt is the best thing for Wisconsin. He goes, he's garbage. Our starting running back out. He goes, get those young guys in there. They want to play. And they did blow out Purdue, as they should, because Purdue is garbage. I think they're coming off hot. I think they're hitting it in stride. I will take Wisconsin on this one. I'm going to go with the young guys playing hard, excited, coming off a huge win. They got some success. It's going to keep riding.
Ben, I'm with you. Kalak Manis, I see he's throwing up number, although he did make 37 attempts. 15 of 37. That's the Ethan we remember.
Sounds familiar.
So bad.
But Rutgers has a good defense, and gosh,
good thing you have numbers to tell you.
I know. I what if I don't agree with the numbers? But Rutgers by 5.5, so I'm going Rutgers.
There you go. See, I was gonna say, you brag about your analytics, the formula, everything like that. You got to go with it. I was gonna say, it gave you the lead. Don't mess with it.
That's true.
Yep. Oh, good. I am it. Oh, see, this one throws me off here. Washington coming off huge win against Michigan, traveling to Iowa. Old Kinnick. Iowa is favored by 3. So, but Ben, before you pick here, maybe one of you two can break this down for me. The home field advantage, you have a number 10 Michigan traveling to Washington, and Washington is favored. But now you have Washington traveling to an unranked Iowa, and Iowa is now favored by 3. I don't get how that works at all. It makes 0 sense to me, but yet somehow Iowa is favored by 3 points. Blows my mind.
Yeah, I mean, I think Michigan was a little maybe overrated at 10. Given their struggles to throw the ball and things like that. But, Iowa, as much as I despise Iowa, you have to give them props where they do things well, and that's defense, special teams, field position, everything but scoring the ball, essentially. Yeah. Iowa does it. And so
they do the nitty-gritty stuff really, really well.
Yeah. So you expect kind of a low-scoring game. A lot of those games come down to, does the other team throw them a pick 6, or do they get a fumble that sets them up on like the 5 or something?
Right.
But I just, I'm going to take Washington in this one. I think if Iowa wins, it's not going to be by a lot. So yeah. I'll take the points. Give me those 3 points, and I think Washington keeps it close. If not goes up for victory.
Why did you have to say that? Because I couldn't agree more. Like, if they win, it won't be by much. And a spread of 3, you sit there and you're like, oh man, that's it. The fact that I'm like, God, can Iowa do that? Like, can they pull it off by 3? I think Iowa's gonna win. I am literally rattling my brain. I'm like, God, are they gonna win by 3 or like a last second field goal? Something ridiculous. But I'm gonna go with Iowa. I'm gonna go home field on this one. I'm going to sprinkle in a little bit of hangover effect on Washington. Let them think that they're awesome. They had a good win, and I'm happy for them. But just like in 2019, the Minnesota Gophers had a huge win against a ranked opponent, Penn State. Just so happened to be my wedding day, and it was wonderful. And I think me getting married won them that game.
That was it.
But the next week we're all high and mighty, undefeated. We go into Iowa and we absolutely lose. I think something similar is happening right now. History does repeat itself. Iowa is going to win this game. They will win by Probably not 7, but it might be 4. So I'll go with Iowa on this one.
Yeah, this I couldn't agree with you more, Josh.
That's 2, baby.
This is one of those. I know it's scary. This is
Yeah.
one of those games that Iowa's just waiting, and if Will Rogers doesn't get it going right away in the game, and with they have the most transfers out of the portal at Washington, they're highly penalized. They turn the ball over. If Iowa can keep it close, they will win the game, because then Washington will get anxious and get in their own head. It's like, oh, we should be winning here. I've got Iowa winning by 6.5.
Oh, yeah, not much.
Yeah, I will say turnovers and penalties not the way to get past Iowa.
No.
Yeah, that
Iowa,
is true.
number 1 in penalties in the country, the least penalized team in the country. Would they have 1 penalty in the Gopher game?
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. That's their calling card, discipline, being in the right spot.
I know it's not the biggest thing to brag about. It's not the biggest showboaty stat, but that's an incredible stat. If you can be the best at not getting penalized, because how many good plays happen on a penalty? Like, you cut that down drastically. That's you're not shooting yourself in the foot. You're always giving yourself the best opportunity. That's an impressive stat to me. I think so, that they just don't make those penalties, and therefore agree with you, Dad.
Mhm.
I was winning. Oh, okay. Here we go. Big spread time. Purdue, garbage. At Illinois, not so garbage. Favored by Illinois, obviously favored 23.5 on this one. Coming off a bye week. Fresh and ready to go, Ben.
Oh, this of all these games, this one to me is always the big spreads are the toughest. Like, as you
Agreed.
said, Purdue has not been good. They gave up 52 to Wisconsin last week. 52.
That's bad.
52. But I just really struggle with 24 points
I
to
know.
beat a team by 24 in the Big Ten with a team like Illinois, who, maybe passing it more than they have in the past, but, Bielema wants to run the ball. They want to do those kind of things. And I really struggle. I'm looking at their schedule. Eastern Illinois by 45. What is that? Central Michigan only by 21.
Yeah.
Is Purdue comparable to a Central Michigan? So
Maybe. I was gonna say Illinois had a nice big win against Nebraska, and I think Nebraska's a pretty middle to upper team of the Big Ten, maybe.
yeah, that was an OT. That was close game.
Overtime.
Penn State 21-7 loss. So as much as this pains me, I'm going to take the points. I'm going to say Purdue.
Wow.
I think they're embarrassed after that Wisconsin game. They
got something
They come
to
out
prove.
firing a little bit.
Yeah,
Not going to win, but they're not going to win by 24.
Yeah, that is tough. That is very, very tough, because sometimes, getting your ass handed to you, some teams just hunker down and be like, that was bad. I never want to feel like that again. We have an opponent here. But then at the same time, I don't think Wisconsin is that good. But they just throttled them. And that's the part of me where I'm like, oh boy, this is a big spread. I'm going to listen to my gut. I've said it twice. I will say it a third time. Purdue is garbage. Therefore, we will take the Illini, and we'll take the points on that one. Let's go, Fighting Illini. Make it happen.
Illinois has a good defense. Their schedule is not very strong. But in Dallalytics here, we look at offense, defense, scoring defense, penalties, red zone, turnovers.
Don't forget turnovers. Yep, there you go.
Purdue, their highest rank out of out of all of them is 99.
Bad.
They're over 100 in all of them.
say the G word. Garbage.
Garbage.
Thank you.
This is going. I feel bad, Ben. I mean, I think the world of you, and we almost taught on the same STEM lab, but I have to steal one from you. Illinois is going to win and win big by 36.
Wow. Yeah, it'll be interesting.
Altmaier.
I mean, again, it wouldn't surprise me, but I hate those big spreads in the Big Ten.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's toss up. Let me tell you, firsthand experience. Pretty much almost every week, I take the big spread. I'm like, yeah, they got it. And then as soon as I say they don't, they do it. I'm like, all right, this sucks.
And
But here we
you get the backups in there at the end, and they score a touchdown late, and the backdoor cover is always an issue. So
You are 100% correct. I'm hoping they're at least up by 32 at that point in time. We'll see. All right. We're on the back half, ladies and gentlemen. Back half, here we go. No more big spreads. We got some good games coming up here. Penn State. No way. Penn State jumped to number 4. Woo. How about them Nittany Lions?
Yep.
Penn State going to USC. No longer ranked. Wow, talk about a big drop off. 11 to nothing. Now, granted,
that feels disrespectful to the Gophers here. They're like, they lost to Minnesota.
Yeah.
Get them out of the top 25.
But the college football committee was like, whoa, gentlemen, we need to sit back. And it is disrespectful towards Minnesota. And, but they're sitting there going like, woof, guys. Oh, that's tough. So yeah, I mean, could you imagine the schedule makers looking at this? They're like, yeah, ranked versus ranked. This is going to be good. Yep. And didn't see Minnesota coming into that equation. But we got Penn State at USC. Trojan with his tail between his legs. Penn State favored by 3.5 points. Ben, lay it on me.
This is probably the one that I went back and forth on the most.
Agreed.
I have never been overly impressed by Penn State's quarterback. Aller,
yeah.
And they said he made a big leap this year. I watched their game against West Virginia. I wasn't super impressed there. Obviously, haven't got a chance to watch them much recently, but they don't have much on their schedule. I mean, they're all wins for sure and convincing wins. USC, I just think if you struggle against the defensive line of Minnesota, which I love the Gophers, but defensive line, not usually one of our super strong positions. I think you're going to struggle against Penn State. So I think their defense is going to give them fits. I'm taking Penn State.
As I said in the pick before, there's a team that loses and stokes a fire. USC does scare me. They have the talent, they have the skill, they have that drive that USC, we don't lose, we don't get upset. So I am scared of that factor, that USC is a team that can, come off a tough loss and just come back firing. But I just 3.5. Thankfully, the spread is a little bit smaller, which makes me feel a little bit better. I think it will be a good game. This gives you classic Rose Bowl feels, honestly. And we're going to go with Big Ten on this one. Penn State, 3.5. I think they got it. Absolutely. I think they're more talented. Good call with the defensive line on that one. They're a little bit better. Penn State's thinking they're the real deal right now. So they're thinking this is a huge game as if USC is ranked. So I think they're going to come into it well prepared, very hardcore, and just pound them to the ground. I'm going to take Penn State on this one.
I think you guys could see the Dollalytics and went with Penn State because I too am going Penn State. And this is the part, Josh, you and I are very familiar with USC because Charlie, my son-in-law, was accepted to go to USC. He was a closet USC fan. He didn't go to college there, but they did in the Gopher game what I've seen them do over the years. They, like the Gophers, they had the Gophers at every position, athleticism.
Right.
8 penalties, and it's not just the 8 penalties, it's at costly times. They have such silly penalties. That's what'll happen against Penn State. Penn State will win and win by 8.
There we go. It's like they just don't handle, I guess, a little bit of adversity because they probably came into Minnesota thinking like, all right, like Minnesota Gophers. But then they get punched in the mouth and all of a sudden it's like, shit, we got a game here. We weren't expecting it to be a game. And then, I don't know, maybe it just seems like they're scrambling a little bit. So tight games, who knows? But hey, way to go, team. All agreed on Penn State. Well, we'll see on these next couple. Actually, I know exactly. You might as well just chalk it up, But we got Minnesota coming off a hot win. We took out one California team, looking to take out another, traveling to UCLA. Minnesota favored by 4 points. Let's hear it all. I know the love. Let's hear it, Ben.
I mean, is there any doubt? Is there any doubt? The Gophers should be 5-1. We should have beat UNC. We got absolutely a chance stolen from us at Michigan. I was at that game. I was losing my mind at the onside kick, and they just took the rug right up from under us. UCLA is coming off a brutal stretch. LSU, Oregon, and Penn State. So they might be, maybe breathing a little easier. Now they're like, oh, all right, we're past that stretch. So let's go.
Let's get to Michigan.
So I think, Rosemer's finding some of his rhythm,
Mm-hmm.
right? And we're the defense is starting to come together a little bit. We're still a little, the run scares me a little bit, but I'm looking at USC. They don't run the ball very well. So I'm going to take the Gophers. I think we go and take care of business at the 8 p.m. start time, which is a little bit rough for us teachers here.
West Coast Big Ten football right now. This is brutal.
Yeah, the Big Ten after dark.
Man, how many Gopher games they have that like we'll go to like a 2:30 game. We'll watch the Gopher game. We'll get back to Northfield. We'll hit up like maybe a bar and some food, and we come back and we're like, man, what a day! Oh, kickoff! Here we go. West
Oregon's on.
Yep.
And you sit there, you kind of go like, whew, I was ready to pack it in. Then you go, crack, here we go. Yep, we got another
For sure.
This will be interesting. Thankfully, my son will be asleep by kickoff, so I will be ready to go. Plenty of cold bush lattes watching this game. I think Michigan game to USC game, Gophers are trending in the right direction right now. Offensively, without a doubt, they're playing good teams. They're playing them well. I don't think UCLA is good, but you definitely can't sleep on them. There's talent there. But I agree with you. I'm going to go Minnesota. We're back with the Gophers. Thank goodness. I love the upset. I really hope they keep riding this high, this momentum, which I think PJ will get them going for.
The thing, I'm definitely going with you on the Gophers. Dalytics has the Gophers winning by 20. I don't think it'll be 20 because UCLA has the second toughest schedule, and to this point, their schedule has been brutal. Mm-hmm. So, who knows, like how they would be if they had a softer schedule up front. But turn the ball. They have almost as many of the ranks in the over 100 as Purdue. Let's just leave it at that. Darius Taylor, they're getting him the ball. He's making Marcus Major better. He's making Brosmer better. And and the defense, I like the defense, Ben, in that, yes, the run, what they've shown, they can give up the big run, but they kind of have that bend, don't break. Keep them between the 20s defense.
Yep. Well, and when I say struggle against run, they struggled against USC's run because USC was able to spread us out.
Yeah.
Right? Like you got four wide receivers on the field. You got 4 linemen and 1 linebacker, and they're trying to make the stop. I think we did a good job against Michigan outside of that first drive, stopping the run when we could get in our base defense and get some linebackers out there. So, But Wally in the corners have been doing a great job. Coy looks like a star in the making in the defensive backfield. So I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. Okay. I was gonna say. Speaking of, I was gonna say that. What was the name of the kid that made the interception in the end zone, fourth quarter?
Parrish.
Coy Parrish.
Yeah. Did any of you guys see? I don't know who he was interviewing next to, but it was like classic, like fifth year senior versus versus the freshman, and they're like, "What did you think of that call?" And he doesn't skip a beat, just go, "Yeah, that was a bad call. That was garbage
Terrible.
call."
Terrible.
And he goes, "Yeah, well," and he goes, "Oh yeah, it's tough out there." He just changed his tune, and I'm like,
Well, the fifth year guys like, we can't control what the refs say, and
yes.
then Coy remembered like, oh, they did. That's what they told me to say.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, that. So yeah, that was good. I don't know if that was Wally next to him or who.
I think it was
don't know if
Wally.
I recognized him, but
I watched that clip, and I'm like, you can't put a better caption on that. Oh, it's terrible call. Well, we can't control what they say, and he knew instantly that he messed up a little bit. He went, "Oh shit!" Like you gotta love it. Like, this kid's riding high. He just made one of the best plays of his career, possibly. Big game, big moment. We live for that. And oh god, I just love it. He's a kid, and he's out there just playing like a maniac. Oh goodness! All right, here we go. We got a pretty good game on this one here. Do we know if this? Maybe it's College Game Day. I sure hope it is. Ohio State number 2 at Oregon number 3. Now, when you say OSU, I'm assuming you. Yes. Let's go. Ohio State favored by 3.
yeah, I mean, I'm excited for this one.
This one's gonna be awesome.
As much as I love Gopher home games, I do enjoy when they go on the road and we get to see some of these games because we're not out tailgating and stuff. And I'm excited for it. Neither team has really been tested in any way, shape, or form by the people they've played. I mean, Oregon played Boise State with G or Janny or whatever the running back's name is. Tested them a little bit, but this will be kind of the first time that both of them run into a true test.
Very true.
People have been, I think Gabriel for the Ducks was touted as a Heisman candidate before the season started. People were talking about Ohio State and their incredible roster that they went out and got through NIL deals. So I hope it lives up to its billing. It's going to be a good time for sure.
Now, Will, I was gonna say, so yeah. Do you cheer for Ohio State? Do you cheer for the new guy coming in?
I'm cheering for a good game. I don't. There are very few games where I can bring myself to cheer for Ohio State.
I don't know if
Iowa or Wisconsin's involved.
Right.
But as for what I think is going to happen, you know what? I'm going to take the points, and I'm going to take the home team, and I think they get it done in Eugene. It's their stadium. All OSU's coming in,
right?
First test, and Oregon's first real big Big Ten game. I think they want to prove they belong.
Yeah, there's there. Excuse me, but this is a big dick swinging contest right now. I'm just going to say it, okay? Both of these guys want to get to the playoffs as if there were still 4 teams left, okay? I truly believe both of them will get into the playoffs. But I kind of hope whatever this game goes that they match up at some point in time in college so we can have a rematch of this because I think it's going to be a good game. It's going to be a straight, punch for punch. Both high-scoring offenses. And really, after seeing the Washington-Michigan game, that home field advantage, I feel it's going to have a big impact. Ohio State's never played in Eugene, and Oregon definitely has something to prove, for sure. They knew they were going to be kind of favored coming into the Big Ten. 100%. This is your test. This is our Big Ten champion. You know, now that Michigan is kind of on the downslide, Ohio State's like, yeah, this is our year. Oregon's there to say, not quite. I'm going to go Oregon at home. I think they will flat out win this game.
Not so fast.
Okay, there's the Buckeye in you.
First of all, Ohio State was our preseason pick to win the Big Ten. I take back again from last year. They were 2 plays away from beating Michigan and going to the Big Ten championship game. 2 plays.
Correct.
They have a chip on their shoulders, and it's kind of a must-win for them because the schedule from here on in for Ohio State is much harder than Oregon. Oregon could withstand a loss and make it in there with a 1 loss because they only ranked teams they have is Illinois and Michigan, and how long is Michigan going to be ranked?
Valid point.
Ohio State's got Nebraska, got Penn State, got Indiana. Who knows what's going on there? So I've got OSU winning and winning by 12 in Eugene.
See, that's what this game brings out in us. That everyone's kind of back and forth. You know, both teams are good, but who can make big plays? Who can not mess up? Who can limit the mistakes? But I think it's going to be tough to go to Eugene to play. That's just me.
You know, I'll say I'm very impressed that you go out there and you give us what you think is going to be the actual score, like how much they're going to win by. I'm on edge enough just picking the game against the spread, and you know,
he's just giving
out
us
here like not only are they going to cover that 23-point gap, they're going to win by another 10 on top of that. You know,
yeah,
that's
they're going big.
There. We'll see if I'm feeling Dalytics the last 2 weeks has done well. We'll see if I'm talking this big next week.
See, it's easy to talk when you're on top coming off a hot week. And now is there a hangover effect for Dean, or is he going to take this momentum and keep running? That's the real question, just like these players out there, Dad.
So we're looking here now, Ben and Josh and Dean. We have to go back and pick our confidence pick that's worth 2.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, I'm looking through here. I've already talked about the Maryland and Illinois games. I don't like those big spreads. I'm gonna stay away from those. You know, yeah, I'm not putting it on Ethan. You know, I had a lot riding on Ethan for a couple years. I can't live that experience again.
Can't do that again. I got too much trust.
Yeah. So you know, as it might feel like a homer pick, but I think Minnesota -4 might be the safest pick on the board here. You know, and you know, I'll take the added emotional benefit of if they win by that, then I'm like, yep, and I'm getting points in the pick 'em here. So I'm gonna put my trust in my boys.
There you go.
They're gonna go out and take care of business.
Ben, I should have known. Should have known, because I'm sitting there going, I feel pretty confident with Minnesota going to UCLA. But I kind of got to make some moves here, and it's going to bite me in the butt. So, you know, originally I'm sitting there going, yeah, Minnesota, great confidence pick. But then I look across the spread here and I go, all right, we all picked Minnesota. I have a feeling Dean's going to go with Minnesota. So I'm like, that confidence pick means jack squat.
Wait a minute, Josh. I'm going to write down. I already know which one you're going to do, but I'm going to write it down.
You think so?
Yep.
All right. Pull some magician.
Dalytics does more than just pick football games.
Yeah, exactly.
Reads people's minds.
I was going to say he's the great Oz guy that goes around the NFL.
Not easy.
Dad, I don't even know who I'm going to pick.
I know where you're going to hedge.
You think so? One thing, it's, you know, not Maryland or that Illinois. That's an uncomfortable spread. It's not going to be Oregon, Ohio State. That's, you know, too close. So hopefully you didn't write any of those down, Dad. I'm whittling it down. I'm kind of between Yeah. No, I'm kind of between Iowa and Wisconsin right now because I can make some moves there. Now, who am I more confident? Easy. I'm going to go with Iowa home game, 3-point spread. Oh,
It works.
baby.
It works.
Ladies and gentlemen, magician, this was not scripted by any way, shape, or form. Wow. Wow. I'm impressed, Ed. I am impressed.
I initially I wrote the I going to go with Illinois, and then I was like, no, it's going to be Iowa.
Wow. Interesting. And I narrowed it down. Well done. It's like he's my dad, Ben. It's like he raised me. He chats with me all the time. He knows, how I think and do and all that fun stuff. So well done, Mr. Dean Dahl. That was impressive.
And you would get a kick out of this years because Josh it was always easy to keep track of what grade Josh was in because it was which year I was at Southview. And
Absolutely.
and he just loved, he was a school geek and he'd come and correct papers and stuff. Well, fast forward, he's going to college and it's the end of the day. And this was way before you came. Oh, and Beth was the principal. And, and you didn't know Beth, but she was a good person, but not always super aware of things. And I just said, Josh, will you watch the station? I'm going to go to the bathroom, Corner Patrol, end of the year. And what did Beth walk up to you and say, Josh?
I think something along, I don't know. I think she thought I was a student teacher or something of that matter. Maybe, I don't know.
You were either a student teacher or a sub.
Oh, yeah, that's right. And she started talking to me, and I have no idea who this woman is. She seems important. And I'm just in there, I'm like, okay, yeah. Like, usually when I would come to visit, like, Dean's like, oh, yeah, Josh is coming up to visit. And, like, the word kind of spreads around the teaching crew, whatever. So I just figured she was like, oh, yeah, this is Mr. Dahl's son, whatever. It looks exactly like him. Sure, go for it. And then she started asking me, like, how are the kids and everything? And of course, I'm like, they're good, pretty well behaved, like, not too bad. And I'm just giving teacher responses, and I'm like this. Okay, she's really kind of digging into me, and yeah, not quite a sub nor anything in between.
Listen, as long as you were keeping that corner, under control and nothing wild's happening. She's good with it,
Yeah,
you got some sort of authority figure here, keeping things under control. We're good.
Yeah, I'm taller than him. I'm bigger than him. So that's all the authority I needed, and I kept a nice tight ship, even though I wasn't doing anything. But yeah, it was just, I was like, okay, and yeah, thankfully Dad came back pretty soon. I'm like, whew, this girl has been grilling me right now. Going on.
Well, and add to it, you had a lot less hair. You had a buzz cut.
Oh yeah.
You were 19 or 20. You looked 19 or 20.
Yeah, it looked like I was out of basic training, fresh out of high school with a buzz cut. Yeah, it was weird as hell. I was like, all right, sure, why not? Fuck it.
Yeah, I mean, I do remember when I was student teaching and either student teaching or like observing teachers even before going into the program, there were definitely a lot of those interactions where people are like either unsure if I'm a student or not, right?
Yep.
Or very sure that I was a student, and they're like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
The custodian at Blaine, I think 3 different times yelled at me coming out of the staff bathroom that it was only for teachers. I'm like, I'm wearing a tie. Sir, like,
sir, do you?
What? I don't. I've been here for 3 weeks now,
Yeah.
so
See,
it's good to know it goes the other way too. That
Yeah,
you can
Ben,
walk your way through it.
What you got to do is after like the first or second time, you should have known his name and been like, Carl. It's me. It's
Yeah.
Ben. If you
Yeah.
can name drop someone and they have no idea who you are, you're gonna blow their mind. It's great.
That would have been good for sure.
Oh goodness, Dad, what was your confidence pick?
Mine was you picked it. It's Iowa. Or no, I'm kidding. It's Minnesota.
I'm making moves. I want Minnesota to win, but I need that extra pick.
Hey, Josh, that prediction goes both ways. You predicted he was going Minnesota. You didn't have to
That's
write
true.
it down. You just knew it right away.
Well, that's an easy pick.
Yeah, because I'm with you. I was like, I think Minnesota's going to do well, and I think they're going to win. I think they're going to cover. But I'm at the point in the game right now where something needs. I can't line up with you guys. You guys are here, like hands to head right now. This is what's happening right now. Josh is so far behind. I cannot agree with you guys pretty much ever. So I gotta make some leaps and bounds. I'm either going to catch up or I'm going to absolutely plummet. But it's going to be exciting either way.
Hey, there's no benefit losing by 5 versus losing by 20. We're here to win.
Amen to that. I was going to say we'll make it interesting.
And then I
Except for
almost
Purdue.
forgot
Purdue
we
can't have that
the,
mentality this week.
No, they suck.
We have. Come on.
Yeah, get your.
There we go. Graffiti.
Oh yeah, always he's got it. Some things never change, Ben. Some things never change.
So Ben, are you on? Is Anna on your team or Julia?
Julia's on my team.
Tell her hi from me.
Absolutely will do.
Don't tell Alex hi though.
That's a great response. I'm gonna go out of my way to not tell Alex hi. So
And
Hey,
I know
by the way,
Troy
I'm sure
is
she
just
knows.
dying to know how I'm doing.
I think that would be hilarious, Ben. You go out there and go, hey, Mr. Dahl says hi. Actually, Mr. Dahl didn't. He said, "Don't say hi to you." So
That's 100% what's about to happen.
for sure.
So, messing with Alex is a full-time gig at Southview, so we really enjoy that.
And she's like an emoji as soon as you say it.
Very animated. She's a lot of fun.
Yeah. We actually talked about you about how we don't want to talk about you. So yeah, talk. That's
I just I wish Julia was into college football because she is very when she gets excited about something, the whole room is excited. Her eyes just light up, and I was just like, I'm curious if that would ignite in football, but I guess she's an NFL gal.
Certainly could be.
Yeah.
I'll talk to her about it. See if I can convince her to,
Okay.
watch the Big Ten for a few weeks. Then you can jump on the podcast and make some.
I was going to say, sometimes bringing those fresh minds. You're an NFL person. You don't know squat about college. Sometimes they make, an entertaining picker without a doubt.
Yes.
They just let them rant, and sometimes they do great. And then maybe if she does well, it's going to persuade her to watch more college football. It's
Join
only
us. Join us.
Yeah. If you can't beat us, join us. Please. Yeah. I'm very excited for this Saturday because Ashley and her cousin are going to have a girls' day, which means me and Harrison, we're going to watch a lot of college football, which is great. And if he's sleeping on my, and I'm like, dude, he's out. My celebration volume will be a little bit lower, but it's going to be a good freaking time. And then I'm going to put him to bed, and then we're going to freaking crank it up for the Gophers to beat UCLA, and Minnesota is greater than California. I had to think. I was about to say Wisconsin, which is also true. But
Yeah.
Wisconsin sucks.
Okay, we better wrap this up.
Yeah, might as well. Ben, as always, I was going to say, it is awesome you have in here. When I have an awesome guest like you, I'm like, dude, yeah, maybe we should get him back again another week. But I hope you had fun. I had fun with you here, and I know Mr. Dahl did as well.
Hey, it was a blast coming on. I wish I could say as a podcast regular, they're all clamoring for me to be on there, but it was a good time. I liked it.
Thanks so much, Ben.
Well, as always in Sports Dolls fashion, we put our hands in front of the camera. We break it down like we're in a huddle. So bring that hand in front of that camera, and we go Sports Dolls on 3. 1, 2, 3. Sports Dolls. Boom. That is a quality episode.